Hey, what's up? Welcome to Lonster's Lair. Come on in, I got some stuff cooking today. Hey, my name's Lonnie Allen and welcome to Grand Central Magazine's 4 for 20. Today we're going to be making a citrus salmon, and what you need for a citrus salmon is some salmon, of course. I'm going to do asparagus as a vegetable, my citrus, oranges, and some lemon juice, or you could have got a lemon and do the same thing we'll do later. Some olive oil, some salt and pepper, a little bit of ground red pepper, some garlic minced, white rice, and some green onions for flavor and garnish. Alright, let's get started. Let's cook. Okay, so like I said, I have 2 cups of white rice, and what we're going to do is put in 2.5 cups of water, or I'm going to show you what I do, which is 2.5 cups of water. Just fill the rice up, fill the water up on the rice. I stick my finger in there. Y'all might think that's gross, but I'm boiling it, so it's all going to boil out. But it goes to the first line on my middle finger, and that will turn out perfect rice every time. Y'all might think your fingers might, you know, this line right here. Y'all might think that's gross and it might be different. It works every time. Okay, so get over to the stove. And if you don't want to do the finger method, just 2.5 cups of water. And I turn it on boil. Basically, I'm going to turn it on high and bring it to a boil. And we're going to boil this white rice to what this fabulous little Filipino girl told me in the Philippines when I was in the Marine Corps, and I was in the 80s, so if I'm being politically incorrect, I apologize. But she says, boil it till you see the fisheye state. Okay, so we're going to boil it till I see the fisheye state, and I'll show you what that means when it starts to boil. Alright, so now what we're doing, why the white rice is boiling on the stove, we're going to prepare our citrus salmon. Alright, so we have 4 people. What I did is I picked up 1.5 pounds today in the fresh fish section there at Meijer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice it like they do in the restaurants. This way I learned it. It comes out nice and you get some nice even fillets. Or you can delay the whole thing on and cook it at once if you'd like. But since we're doing this for 4 for 20, we're going to cut it into 4 pieces there for you. What you do is you take the knife and you slice down on an angle so you get a nice little bevel cut there. And we'll lay that on the aluminum foil. Basically, I put this on a cookie sheet wrapped with some foil and a little olive oil drizzled in there. Another slice, and as I can see right now, my salmon is going to yield more than 4 nice slices. Just lay them on the pan. I gotta make room. This one will be the odd one out. Just throw more over here. Okay, now that the salmon's all laid on the pan, the best thing I like about this dish is because everything else is cooked together. Your vegetable and of course the rice is the only difference. But one more pan, one less pan to use. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drizzle a little olive oil on top of the salmon, and then I'm going to take my citrus and show you what I do to get it the nice tang that I like. First of all, let's lay out our asparagus. And just lay that thick in there because I'm going to broil all this together. So, you know, just stack them in. And it's going to be all broiled together. Now, if you don't like asparagus, you can use like some zucchini or some yellow squash. But asparagus is one of my favorites. I should have shut that bitch off, didn't I? Whoops. All right, so the asparagus is almost all the way on. Now that I got it on, you know what, maybe I want to do a few like this. I know I'm strange, but it looks good that way. I'm all about my little presentation. Okay, now that I got that on, I've got it all set up, we're going to show you how to do the citrus. You take the oranges and you just roll them. These are just navel oranges I picked up at the store. You can get pretty much any orange as long as it's an orange. Don't use a tangerine or a whatever they crazy Mineola things. They just don't have the same flavor as an orange. In my opinion. I don't want to freak somebody out, you know, but in my opinion they have. And what I'm doing is basically just crushing the membrane in the orange. So all the juices will just squeeze out of this when I put it on the salmon. This is the only physical labor you really have to deal with it when making this dish. Alright, so they're nice and squishy. So I'm going to cut those in a minute, basically, and now I'm going to drizzle some olive oil on top of my fish. And just drizzle it around, get it all over. We'll put some garlic in there, we'll add some salt and pepper and a little cayenne. Basically, you know, just don't kill it with the oil, but get little drops everywhere. So it just like zings the flavor right out at you. All right.
3, 2, 1.
All right, now the salmon and the olive oil is on there. Now I'm going to add some nice garlic, if I can get it open. And what I do with the minced garlic is I take little bits out and I just sprinkle it in the same way I did with the olive oil, but not a lot, because this is like fresh garlic. You don't want too much. You just want a hint of stuff. Whoops. You can always tell if you get too much in one area, you get that loud lump. Right there. Okay. So basically, you can see some of the garlic right on there. Looking good. Now we want a touch of our cayenne pepper. Not a lot, because you'll kill yourselves. But if you like spicy, go for it. I'm just going to sprinkle that right on over my fish, my asparagus, and the whole creation. Okay. Alright, so the rice has reached its fisheye state, and what it is when the little bubbles of water start bubbling up, and now it looks like there's little holes in the rice. The little water bubbles are popping up. It looks like little fish eyes, like that, you know. And that's what you do. Basically, take the heat, shut it off, put a lid on it, and now I let it sit, and it's just going to steam the rest of the way. It's just like my own little rice cooker. Okay, so now we're going to add the citrus. And squeeze all the juice out. See how much easier that is? And we'll get that all over everything. Make sure you peel that tag off. You don't want that in your fish. There. Now that the salmon has been completely coated with my orange juice, the last and final step, well, two more steps. This next to the last and final step is just a little drizzle of lemon juice. Just like the olive oil, but not as much. A little cracked pepper, cracked salt. to taste. And wipe the hands. And now what I do is I take the oranges that we've squeezed, what's left of them, and just throw it on top of the salmon. Little pieces. That's pretty much it. Quick another shake. There we go. We have our citrus salmon. What we're going to do now is we're going to put this in the broiler and broil it for 15 minutes. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just take the last little bit of the white part of the onion and sprinkle this. Now this is what, when you just chop up your green onion, this is the white, the more white, the more oniony part. And I just sprinkle a little of that left around on the asparagus and the fish. If you use all the green, it'll just burn up in the broiler, so you don't want to use that. You want to use that for your garnish. There we go. Okay. Now we are going to put this in the broiler, just like so, for 15 minutes. Most ovens should have a broil setting, and they're right in the regular oven, but if you have like an older oven, it may be underneath, or you might have your own broiler. Basically just do it for broil, like I said, for 15 minutes. You can bake it, just bake it a little longer, takes a little longer, and you're not going to get that nice crisp on top of the fish. Alright, 15 minutes. See you then. Alright, here we go. Our citrus salmon. Doesn't that look delicious? I can't wait to get my teeth into that. And there's our rice, steamed perfectly. All you have to do now is just flake it up. Alright, so let's serve dinner. You don't want to serve the oranges, so you want to pop those off. You can just toss them to the side, no big deal. Okay, some people might not like their asparagus broiled because it's going to be a little crispy, some of them. I'm telling you, look at that. It's absolutely fabulous. And then with a piece of salmon. And look, I got a couple pieces more asparagus. Rock on. You don't have to play with your food like I do. I just like the presentation. Alright, so now I've got it on my plate. Now I'm going to garnish it really quick. And there you go. 4 for $20, y'all. Salmon, rice, and your asparagus, all under 20 bucks. And I can feed 6 people today. Okay, so check out Grand Central Magazine's Facebook page. And you can leave us comments about tonight's episode, or if you have questions, go ahead and leave them there. Or you can request different things you'd like to see on 4 for $20. So go to Grand Central Magazine's Facebook page and leave us a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Now let's eat. That is wonderful. See you next week.